So you're still in biotech.
Yeah.
That's what you know.
Yes.
And because you were a chemistry person, that was your degree in college.
Yes.
Why chemistry?
I just liked it once I had that class. I originally wanted to go into nursing, but then I just liked chemistry.
Yeah. I'm chemistry. I like science. Chemistry, there's too much remembering of elements and formulas, or what do they call them? What's it called when you have the little diagram?
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't a great student to begin with, but science has always fascinated me.
Yeah.
I've always really liked science. Welcome to Down and Dirty with Michael Julian. On the show, we're getting raw, real, and leaving no stone unturned. Each week, I sit down with some truly remarkable people who have overcome adversity in their lives. My guests are warriors who took their pain and turned it into power. So get comfortable, because we're about to get down and dirty. Well, Liz, I'm super excited to have you here. I haven't seen you in 6 years.
Yeah.
Was it 2018, I think?
Yeah.
I interviewed you for the first, or actually, yeah, we just talked. You contacted me about being at Route 91 after being a student of mine in 2014. And literally, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you reaching out to me. Nobody else has done that, but I don't know if anyone else has a story like yours. But I created my program in 2013, 2014, and you were one of my first students when your employer brought me in to speak to your whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'd only been a couple dozen probably presentations, because I launched it in 2014. And so thank you for letting me know that the proof of concept that my program works, and sharing with me how you felt about the fact that, you believe that it was instrumental in you being alive today. That you have no idea what you did for me. That was the biggest gift, one of the biggest gifts I've ever gotten from anyone, because you told me that me or something that I created, saved your life essentially. And I've told tens of thousands of people in the last 10 years that conversation with you, except for the birth of my children, was probably the most profound moment of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, listen, I have put my heart and soul into the A.L.I.V.E program, and had no idea. I mean, I felt confident about it, but had no idea the impact it could actually have on people until you told me. And for someone to look at you and say, I'm here today because of something that you created or something you taught me, how is it not going to be incredibly profound? And, you'll probably never know how much you mean to me. But anyway, we're not here just to talk about your experience at Route 91, although I would like to spend some time on that, because again, it was a huge moment in my life that you told me that. And for me to feel like, I don't know, just talk about validation and a feeling of purpose when you can have that effect on somebody else. So, but tell me about Liz. Liz Moreno is more than just a survivor of the Route 91 massacre in Las Vegas. Tell me about where you grew up.
I'm from San Pedro originally, and then my family moved to Corona when I was like 4 or 5. So I went to school in Corona, graduated from Norco High School.
Norco High School?
Yeah.
I lived in Norco when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I was a little guy. Off of Mountain View, or I think, is it Mountain View?
Maybe.
I don't know. We had horses. We used to ride horses up in the hills.
Yeah.
So.
And I played soccer my whole life. I traveled to London and Australia.
Playing soccer? Were you on, is it the Arsenal? Is that
no, it was just a kind of like a club team.
Yeah, but you went international.
Yeah.
You must have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Then I got married, had kids, got divorced, and now I'm living in my good life.
Good. Well, congratulations. I'm very happy about that. So, as you know, the show is about overcoming adversity and challenges and trauma or whatever. You didn't have a lot of that growing up, correct? You had a pretty normal life?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a good childhood. I'm the only child. My parents are still alive. They're good. That's
good. And you went to, you got your degree in college in
chemistry.
chemistry. That's pretty interesting. And so you decided to do what with your degree?
I worked in a lab after college, and then I did notaries, and then I stayed home, had my daughter, and
You have more than one job?
at that time I only had my daughter.
Okay.
And then my ex-husband was kind of like, the men are the more important ones, so it wasn't like I was getting very much support to have a career.
What do you mean the men?
Like, like a chauvinist.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha. Old school.
yeah. So then after I had then we moved, bought a house, and I started working out here in Marietta at a biotech company.
Right.
It was like a goat farm, and they made antiserum for testing in blood and hospital machines. Then I got pregnant with my son, and then I found out on my son's first birthday that my husband was cheating on me with a friend of mine for 2 years.
Oh my.
So
How'd you find that out?
he just started acting weird because she was cheating on him.
Oh, his girlfriend, your friend, was cheating on your husband with someone else.
Yeah.
It's a very, very complicated web there.
Yeah.
Oh, and how'd that go?
So we got divorced, but it's been like for 10 years. He still wants to fight my new boyfriend. We've been together for 10 years. He wants to kill him. My ex-in-laws are not nice. It's just been like
a nightmare.
Trauma, yeah.
So you're saying that your husband was cheating on you with your friend. You're probably not friends with her anymore?
Actually, I've seen her. I don't have anything against her.
Yeah.
She did me a favor.
She did, it appears. But you've been fighting this, and you are fully divorced?
Yes.
But is there custody issues or what?
No, he's just like
vindictive,
a full-blown narcissist. So it's like impossible to be normal for him.
How is that affecting your life now?
Now it doesn't affect me so much, but it's my kids. Like, it's like manipulation to them, and it's just not a good situation for them. Like, my boyfriend now has done a lot for them. He's been in their life for 10 years, and to always just act that way
there's just tension and toxicity.
Yeah. And it's like, the more people in their life that love them, the better. So why can't you just be supportive?
Yeah.
And it causes my kids a lot.
Well, didn't you say to me
trauma.
Something about your former father-in-law flips you off at their games or something?
Yeah, even just this past baseball season he did. He didn't even go for a long time because we had a restraining order against him.
A restraining order?
Yeah, he would try to spit on me at my daughter's soccer games. He like attacked me and my boyfriend. And so I got a restraining order against him. So he didn't even show up for a long time. And then now he's back. But if he gets a chance, if my parents aren't there, if my boyfriend's not there, he's like...
Really?
It's like so pathetic.
Very emotionally evolved man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So you're dealing with that. Yeah. And your boyfriend's name is?
Marty.
Marty. And I met Marty when
yes.
you guys came to the office and you did the big Channel 7 News or whatever it was interview about your survival and stuff like that. Very nice guy. I'm glad to hear that you guys are still friends. Now, there's a picture of you and Marty with some guy with a big long beard.
Oh, Shane.
Shane.
Yeah.
Is that his friend?
Yeah.
Or your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was his birthday on that day, and
that was at the Route 9
yes.
Festival.
And he hates crowds, and I
talked him
into going.
Oh, no.
I'm like, we went last year. It was so fun. You can just stand there and no one's around. It's like not super crowded. You could right to the hotel. It's in Vegas.
Yeah.
And so we still kind of make fun of that.
Well, since we're delving into that, let's talk about that again. Tell me about everything. Just tell me about your experience. Like, that's a good start. You talked Marty into going. You talked Shane into going. Mm-hmm. So your boyfriend Marty and Shane. Shane, were you with a group of people? Or?
Yeah, we were with probably about 20 people. Like all friends, staying in different areas, but we would meet up there. We had gone with the other group the previous year.
Mhm.
So that was our second time going.
So walk me through it. Don't leave out any details because it's a fascinating story. And I use the story in my present. In fact, I've got over 300 instructors in 7 countries now that tell your story. Tell me from the very beginning. And please, I know you've probably told the story a million times, so it's easy to leave stuff out, but tell me what happened.
So we were like watching the concert and
Jason Aldean.
yeah.
Now, where were you in
We looked
relation
to
to
the
stage?
right of the stage.
So if you're looking at the stage, you were to your right?
The stage was like here.
Okay, so you were
to
to
the right,
you
in
were
the
to right of
grass
stage.
area.
Okay.
And then there was like a walkway that came out kind of. We were just like up in the front in the grass area.
Okay.
And then we heard sounded like firecrackers. I turned around and the lady behind us, like a little bit back, but her whole face was like bloody. So I was like, something's wrong. And then it happened again, and then everybody got down like a big dog pile. And then I turned around and there was a younger guy behind us, and they were holding napkins on him. And I think his name was Quentin. He had passed away.
He was shot in the chest.
Mm-hmm. And then we got down again, and it's like people were just all over him. Like, if someone gets shot, it's just gonna go right through them to hit us. And I said, I'm leaving after this is done. And it's like everything that I learned from that class, it was like, we have to run. That's came back to me.
But didn't you guys, like, everybody just hit the ground?
Yeah, we were just like it was like a dog pile. Like, we were on the ground, but you're like leaning on the people in front of you.
But because you didn't know where the shooting was coming from.
I feel like for us, it was that way. Like, some people say they thought other shooters were in there.
Right.
I never thought that. But I think that's just because where we were, because it was like right over here. I could see maybe other people maybe thought something different because it probably sounded different from where they were, you know? But yeah, I told my boyfriend, as soon as this stops, I'm leaving. I'm running. So he's like, don't trip then, hold my hand. And we turned to run, and the lady that had got shot in the face, she was gone. There was like nobody running. There was like nobody in the way.
Was everyone just on the ground?
Yeah, and like so many people just stayed there. It was crazy.
And as I recall, you said your boyfriend didn't want to leave.
He was like, wait. He was trying to figure out like where it's coming from, but it's like, who cares? Just go.
Yeah. So. Well, I can understand thinking, well, we don't want to run towards the gunman, so you want to figure out where you want to run away from it.
Right. Plus, he's more familiar with guns. I'm not. I was just like, let's go. And I don't know that he saw what I saw. Like, I don't know that he saw that lady, and I don't know if he saw the guy behind me. So to me, I was just like
freaking out.
I'm leaving.
So what were the other people doing? Just everyone was just
staying there. Yeah, like we ran across the street. It was like playing Frogger because he was still shooting, or you know that game where
Frogger, yeah, Frogger, yeah.
We're like hiding behind trees, and nobody was running.
They were just laying there?
Yeah.
Or standing there?
Yeah. Or I think people ran and hid like the other way.
I show a picture of the field where you were in my presentation, littered with dead bodies.
I know.
And those were the dead bodies, not the ones that were shot and pulled away.
I know.
Those are the people that were deceased and left there. That was right where you were.
I know. It's crazy. And we were back at the hotel before it was even over because I don't know. I carried my drink the whole way there, but it was empty. And then we were getting water from some of the workers inside Excalibur, and one of the guys got a call or text from his daughter that had gotten shot in the arm. And they didn't even know that the shooting was going on. It wasn't even over.
So tell me, this is, I don't mean for it to seem completely selfish, but it is, because this is such a, like I told you, such a profound moment in my life. your story and you telling me what happened and that my program was instrumental in telling you that you needed to leave.
Mhm.
Tell me what was going through your mind. Now, one thing that you said before in the news interview that it was fascinating and amazing to me. You said that once when you got down on the ground and you covered your head with your hands, and then you realized that you knew you had been trained, you had learned how to do this, and you became completely calm. Walk me through that experience.
Yeah, I didn't feel like panicked.
You
I was just like, I'm leaving. Like, we need to run.
so you were focused on what you knew you needed to do.
Yeah. And then, and when I took that class, I never thought I would even think about it again, which I kind of didn't. And then right when we were down there, I'm like, I'm leaving. We need to run. Cause it's like, it was just like, it came back. Not like you ever thought that would happen.
Well, yeah, you never do. But it's funny. Again, in the program, I talk about the fact that there are so many stories of somebody being at a restaurant and then suddenly the person at the table next to him stands up and is going like this, which is the international sign for unchoking. And a person gets up and goes over and does the Heimlich maneuver, or somebody passes out in a crowd and somebody walks over and, tilts her head back, clears the airway, and then starts, chest, compressions and mouth to mouth. And they are asked afterwards, how did you must be in the medical field. And the person said, no, I took first aid
I know.
like 15 years ago. But when something like that happens, did you feel like the adrenaline just kicked in and all of a sudden it came from your subconscious to your conscious? You knew what to do?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like all of that run, fight, hide.
Run, hide, fight.
Hide.
Except it's A.L.I.V.E.
Yes. I was just like, we need to run.
Yeah, no, that was, okay. So let me ask you this. In the first step in my A.L.I.V.E program, it's an acronym for assess, leave, impede, violence, and expose. How long would you say that the assess process went on in your mind realistically? Because it might have seemed like an eternity or it might have seemed like a split
Probably
second.
like not even a minute.
Well, how long before you hit the ground until you decided to leave was there?
Probably not, like maybe a couple minutes, if that. Because we waited a whole nother round. Right,
What does that mean?
Because he would shoot like a whole round and then it would,
A burst of shots?
yeah, and then it would like wait a little.
How long do you think, how long between rounds, as you call them?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I would
A
imagine,
couple minutes, maybe.
well, the whole thing lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
So maybe a couple minutes or a minute or two.
The body and the brain do very, very interesting things under that type and that amount of stress and when the adrenaline is pumping. So I think time stops. It's really hard to calculate moments in time when you're under that kind of pressure.
Because I know I said after the next, when he stops, I'm running.
Right.
And then we did. And then we were back before it was over.
So it very well could have been a minute, a full minute or two.
Yeah.
Because he could only shoot so many magazines before he had to reload, or he had multiple weapons set up and ready to go.
Or there's more than one person, but
What do you think?
I think the whole thing is shady. But I don't know why you'd break out two windows if there's only one person shooting.
I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. My personal opinion is that there was one shooter, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But based on the sound and the description, I think it's and leading up to it and all of that. My personal opinion is that it was a lone shooter, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And probably smarter people with more information know more than I do. So, okay. So then what happened? So you said, I'm leaving. And he's like, no, we got to stay here. And you said, I'm leaving with or without you.
Yeah. I was like, I'm running after we stop.
Yeah. So step by step, walk me through that.
And he's like, okay, then. And he's like, grabbed my hand. He's like, don't trip. We're going to run. And if there was a cop, so we got down when they started shooting again. We were ducking before we could get all the way out. And there was a cop that was kind of blocking the gateway to exit. So he's like, if he's there, we're just gonna like plow through him. We're leaving. And
Good.
then when we got over there, he was not there. So
Okay.
and then we just ran back to the hotel.
And did you say that you got back to the Excalibur before the shooting stopped?
Yes.
How far of a run is it from Mandalay Bay?
Well, from where we were, I'm not sure. Maybe a quarter mile.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm trying to.
I was really, really out of breath.
I would imagine. Probably scared to death.
So
Your adrenaline's got your organs pumping pretty fast.
yeah.
What was? I know you said that you became very calm when you realized that. Hold on a second. I've been trained. I know what to do, and then you focus on that, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. By the way, let me give you some credit for whatever created this in you. Many people become emotional and cannot control their emotions under this kind of stress. They get very, very scared. They fall into a victim mentality. They hear screams. They see people with blood and they think, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That is not an empowered survival mentality. Where did that come from? I mean, did you have parents that instilled that in you?
No. I think I was already in survival mode from dealing with my ex-husband. So
Okay.
maybe that.
Okay.
And his family. But no, I don't know.
What do your parents do?
My mom worked for the gas company for like 37 years. And then my dad was a lineman, crane operator.
Okay. Well, you have a sense of, or a boldness and a sense of empowerment that to react that way. I use in my video, I use an example of, have you seen my program, by the way, since I built it? The new one, like online or anything?
No.
I'm going to give you access because I want you to, if you want,
Okay.
you may not have any interest in it, but clearly you know the program as good as anyone because you actually got to use it. But many people become hysterical. They don't have the mental fortitude or the sense of empowerment or the confidence in their own abilities to stay calm. But you,
even after being trained or even after learning that?
well, that I don't know. I've not been able to talk to anybody else like you. I would certainly think it makes sense that someone that is trained on how to react to a situation, if they remember their training, which is exactly what you do, yeah, they would do that. And frankly, I hope that I've had the same impression on a fraction of my students that I had on you, because you actually did exactly what you were taught to do. But it's one thing to remember your training and another thing to go to the mindset that you did. And yes, that's what we teach.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people instinctually just do whatever it is that they've been trained, grown up, programmed as a child or growing up. And you must be a phenomenal student because you literally just you suppressed any emotional instincts and you went directly to exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I think I'm not super like high emotion person anyway.
No,
Sometimes.
Kind of low key.
Maybe laughing, but not like crazy hysterical. I'm not like that.
Well, it certainly served you well in this situation. Tell me what other things you saw, like if you can go back into your mind's eye and see what you saw. You saw the woman shot in the face. You saw the young man shot.
And I feel like that was it. Like, I don't know. I feel kind of guilty that we didn't stop and help anybody. But to be honest, I don't remember seeing anybody like when we were leaving. So it was almost just like, we have to get back to where we were. Yeah. So I didn't see anything else.
You don't remember seeing anything?
Yeah.
Else? Were you having to like run over people and?
No.
Where was everyone?
I don't know. Hiding. I got one friend of ours was hiding up in front under the stage. And so she ended up staying there the whole time to see all the people that had got shot. So that was not good for her. And then another friend of ours ended up in like a Budweiser
Tent?
the container truck, whatever.
Okay.
You know, like where they have the bar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. And then taking like the bus to the airport. They transferred people over there. A couple other friends hid behind those big bleachers and then ended up in the Tropicana. So it's like everybody just, but I feel like it maybe helped us a little bit because we had gone the year before. So we knew where to get out and like just go right back to our hotel. So, and I know a lot of people, some people ran the other way and then there was like no exits. They couldn't get out. The fence like crushed some people and just all kinds of bad stuff.
I have, every time I've done a presentation anywhere, California, Nevada, Arizona, I always obviously tell your story and I ask, is anybody in here ever, were they there or do they know anyone that was there? I've never had a class that at least one person was there or knew somebody that was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I told you, one lady that passed away, her name was Rocio. Her fiance coached my son's football team a couple of years ago. That was like his first time like out because she passed away and their son was, I think, only 6 months and the daughter was 2. But he was a really nice guy. So I know I saw his sticker on his car at the practice and I'm like, who's that? But yeah, I see people all the time.
Have you met many people that were there?
Yeah. And then we just went camping with like a friend of a friend and I didn't even know that she was there. Somebody in their group got shot in the boot, like through the boot. And then they had like shrapnel of denim in their foot and it wasn't healing. Crazy.
What happens when you meet somebody that was there? What is that like? What is that like emotionally, intellectually, spiritually?
Now I'm gonna cry.
That's okay. There's tissues right here.
I'm just still like glad that they're alive.
Yeah. Do you have like, is it emotional for both of you?
Yeah. What do you mean both of us?
When you meet people that.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant Marty. No, it's not emotional for him.
No, he's very stoic.
Yeah.
Well, he did the right thing.
Yeah.
He was like, you said we're out of here with or without you. And he said, okay, grabbed your hand and you guys took off.
Yeah.
What are you feeling right now?
I don't even know. It just made me emotional. Talking to her name's Steph. She lives across the street from like the junior high. And she said like because of that, she's like tells all the kids if anything happens, come to my house, get it. Like I'll give you the garage code, run. Because it makes you think about that stuff.
When we met 6 years ago in my office, we'd met for the first time after you'd contacted me and told me your story. You cried. And you said that you'd not been able to talk about this. Has it gotten easier to talk about?
Yeah. And I feel like I did probably have some like PTSD. So
I'm sure you did.
Reaching out to you like helped me like get through that because I just kept thinking about it over and over in my head, like everything that happened. So.
Well, why did you reach out to me exactly? I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it helped me move through like the steps of what happened because I kept thinking, why did I do that? Like,
why did you do what you did to strive?
Yeah. And then I was like, it's because I took that class. So maybe if I reach out and thank you, it'll give me some closure so I can not think about it every day.
You know, the day we met and you told me that, and like I said, okay, I'm gonna use a tissue too.
I didn't think I was gonna cry.
No, it's good. It's okay. The day you told me that me or something I created saved your life.
I think I sent you an email at like 2:00 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't sleep.
Yeah. I woke up on a Saturday morning and looked at my phone, and there was an email from the middle of the night telling me, you know, I mean, I've still got it. That I remember you saying, you probably don't remember me. You opened with that. And I thought, well, that's very sweet of you to say that. But then you told me the story, and I had to read it twice. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I rolled over and I woke my girlfriend up and I said, can you read this? Am I reading this right? Like, look at this.
Uh-huh.
And it was you telling me that, this program helped you survive the situation. And, and then we met in my office, and then you started to cry, and then I got all choked up. And I can't tell you enough how much that means to me. And you'll never know, because I've been, at this program for 10 years now, and we've taught literally tens of thousands of people around the world. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, as much as I'd loved the program, I'm very ADD, and I'll get something and I'll be passionate about it for a while, and then I'll get some new shiny object and I'll do that. But you telling me that made me absolutely commit. I mean, I went back to my office on Monday and I said to my team leaders, you guys are going to have to take on more responsibility, because I'm going to be stepping back from the day-to-day operations of my uniformed and executive protection and private investigation business, because I wanted to go all in on A.L.I.V.E, and I did. And that's how we grew it to be as big as it is today, and international. And so anyway, don't know that I'll ever be able to share with you how grateful I am for you doing that. So let's get back to you crying, because I'm tired of it. So when I asked you about meeting other people that were in that situation, that's when you got emotional. Walk me through that. Why is that? Is it because you can actually connect with somebody on the same frequency because they've experienced it themselves and not?
I think so, because I've talked to other people about it that weren't there, and I don't get so emotional like that. But talking to her, it's like it just comes out.
Yeah, because
she was getting emotional, and then to hear like how it affects you every day, like not every day, but you think about things that you wouldn't probably think about if that didn't happen.
And you absolutely have PTSD, and that's okay. So don't be afraid to admit that. Normal people do have it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they have it now, but like at first, when I had gone back to school and they were doing construction, so they were like jackhammering something, and it's like, what is that? And then you just have to like tell yourself like, this is normal, like it's not anything. And then we went to a turkey shoot where they were shooting all kinds of guns. That was emotional for me,
hearing those shots.
Yeah. And we went to the L.A. Kings game, and that lion Bailey, who does a drum like super loud. I was like, oh my God. So a lot of stuff like that. But I like kept wanting to do those things because I didn't want to not live my life. So we went to another concert like as soon as we could. So, and we still been to concerts.
Okay, so I want to stop and just highlight something you just said, that it 100% goes along with the theme of this show and is exactly why you belong here. You made a conscious decision to face your fear, to face your phobia, to face the source of that negative energy, that negativity, that horrific experience, something that reminded you and represented that horrible thing. You made a conscious decision to face it, not to run from it. Yeah. You realize that?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I love concerts. So like I'm not gonna not do that. I love going to concerts.
So you would not allow it to control you.
No.
Yeah, I hope you're very proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You
I
do not-
even made my kids go to Jason Aldean.
Good.
And my son does not like country.
So did you force him to go for him or for you?
For both of us.
For both of you. Okay, so you say, and I believe you, if you don't have PTSD anymore, do loud sounds still bother you?
No.
Okay. So you may be reminded, but you're not tormented by the things.
Yeah.
Then
I feel way different than I did initially. You know?
What do you think, what did you do, or what do you think changed to help change that for you?
Like exposing yourself to those things and then just recognizing that it's triggering you kind of, and then just sit with it and tell yourself that you're not in any danger.
Oh,
and it's
did you go to therapy to learn that?
I've been to tons of therapy because of my ex-husband. My daughter's had tons of therapy. So
Okay.
being present is very important.
Yes.
And staying calm and telling yourself, this is what's happening.
Okay, but you just said something that I want to stop and talk about a little bit. You just gave an incredible tool to anyone listening or watching how you overcame this situation. And the most important thing, I think, or one of the most important things you said was you sit with it. You become quote unquote comfortable with it, and then you can process it intellectually so that it does not negatively affect you again.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? I mean, that's something that most people don't learn unless they've got really good parents or they go to therapy.
I've had both.
It sounds like it. That's amazing. That is amazing that you whether you learn that from a therapist or you learned it from reading or your parents taught you that. That is exactly the formula to overcome those things that make you have fear and anxiety. You force yourself to confront it. You sit with it. You sit with the experience. You evaluate what emotions you are feeling.
Yeah.
You become aware or okay with those. And so you just process that emotional trauma and then got on the other side of it and went, see, I lived through that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Fantastic. So what else, how else has your life been affected, good or bad, by this experience?
I think so. For example, at work recently, we moved to a different office, and then they wanted to put me in an office where I couldn't see the door or I couldn't see anything. And then where I would be sitting, my back would be to the door. And I was like, absolutely not.
So would you say you become more situationally aware?
Yes. Like when we go somewhere, I always want to know like how I can leave if something happens. Where's the exit? Where am I running? And I tell my kids the same thing if we go anywhere. And I even tell them at school, if something happens and everyone's doing this, like, and you feel like you don't want to do that, don't, just run. Like, I don't care, I won't be mad. Like, if you need to run out the back of the school
Absolutely.
without your class, go.
Well, and unfortunately, something that we talk about that happened in Columbine 20 plus years ago, 1999, is the kids that didn't run through the library and out the door. They decided to listen to what they've been taught all their life and get under a desk, which they can be seen from 360 degrees.
I tell my kids all the time. Especially now, they lock the doors. It bothers me.
Oh, when the whole lockdown thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've even asked the school, because my daughter, unfortunately, has been sent out of the classroom for talking. And I'm like, then what? Go to the office. Don't just stand there. Like, how long do they stay out there? What is like the safety for that? You have all the doors locked and you're going to set someone outside the classroom with all the doors locked?
Right.
It doesn't even make sense. And that really bugs me.
Yeah. Okay. So and believe me, I've got a real problem with some of the ways that schools handle these things. The whole lockdown. Well, unfortunately, like you said, if somebody's in the school already, the lockdown can be a bad thing.
Right.
And every situation is different.
You know,
Just like, run, I'd fight and alive. It's not a cookie cutter. You have got to adapt as the thing progresses, right?
right.
Which is what you did. You could have stayed laying down, but you realized that you needed to get the hell out of there.
Right.
Because people were dying around you. So how else has your life been affected by this?
I think just those things that you kind of subconsciously think about all the time. Or at work, we had a fire extinguisher training, and then somebody said like it was kind of a waste of time, and I'm like, no, it isn't, because if it happens, it might come right back to you.
Yes.
So
I love
any
that.
kind of training, I'm like, no, it's not a waste of time.
I love that. So I don't want to completely monopolize our time together talking about, my program or your experience at Route 91 Music Festival. But is there anything else you want people to know about your experience that would help them? Like, what lessons have you've become certainly much more situationally aware, but what lessons would you want if you're going to take this horrible situation and extract something good from it? Because usually there's usually always a way to learn something or have a new lesson or become more empowered based on hard experiences. What would you like other people to know, or what lessons that you've learned that you would impart on or share with other people to help them?
I think it would be good to take your class, or everyone should have that training. And then if you do feel like PTSD, I think it's good to face those things and just in a safe place, like let your brain process it, so so it doesn't continue to consume your life,
That is very good advice.
because it sucks.
It does suck. If you let it control you or affect you negatively, it definitely sucks. So what type of things have helped you get through, obviously facing the fears, the PTSD? What kind of things, what makes you happy? What are you passionate about?
Um, my family and friends, doing things outdoors. A group of friends of ours that were there at Route 91, they started a like bunco group afterwards. So like once a month we would go to someone's house, and then like other friends came too, that not everyone was at Route 91, but that was like a fun thing that came from it. I never played bunco before.
I've never played bunco.
It's fun.
I'm sure a lot of people do it. When you get together, do you ever talk about your experience, or do you just leave that on the outside?
Like we do, if anyone had some sort of like encounter with a person, or learned something new about somebody that was there, met somebody that was there, like we'll talk about it, but just it's not like we leave it like don't talk about it. Just
Did any of the therapy you do regarding your ex-husband, did any of that include dealing with the Route 91 experience?
a little bit, because my daughter was going to therapy already, and then the therapist actually held like a group therapy for Route 91 people, because there were a lot of people in the area that were there. So we did have like one or two group therapy sessions for the people that were at Route 91. Um, and then I think multiple people kind of just continued on their own. But for me, my daughter, she can have like anxiety. So I've kind of tried to read on that and taken what her therapist had taught her. And I kind of just use that for addressing those things and sitting with it, being present, letting it.
Good. What you said you like doing outdoor stuff. What kind of stuff do you do?
Go camping, we go to the river, go to Glamis.
Where do you go on the river?
Like Needles, Laughlin
Okay.
area. Over Thanksgiving, I just flew over the handlebars on the quad and hurt my shoulder. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I had a black eye.
Oh my.
So, and my whole face was scab.
Oh, and that was out where at the
And Glamis.
Oh, Glamis. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's very fun. I've not been to Glamis,
Oh, it's fun.
but I do have a side-by-side and a Jeep out in Parker. I have a little place
Oh, okay, yeah.
at the river there. And during the wintertime, you don't go anywhere near the water because it's too damn cold.
Yeah.
So we go, four-wheeling out to the desert bar or wherever.
Yeah. I know. I want to try to go out there too.
It's a lot of fun.
I usually just go I'm usually just in charge of like snacks and music. So I usually don't drive anything.
Yeah, that's okay. That's an important job.
Yeah.
Snacks and music.
And then I don't crash.
Oh yeah, that turned out not to be so good.
Yeah.
But I bet you that you will do it again because you're not going to be afraid to do it, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not afraid.
Oh, you're not.
I was trying to do the shifting with the clutch and stuff, and
Hit
I
the
wasn't
brake.
paying attention, and then I hit like a kid track and went.
The one over the top.
Yeah.
What else are you passionate about?
My kids, sports, just being happy, being around positive people that are happy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely you're a product of your environment. And
my work, I like my work.
Yeah. What do you do you're at a new biotech company now?
Yeah. I'm a quality regulatory manager.
What does that mean exactly?
So we have a lab and there are 3 clean rooms, maintaining all the equipment. We make a cosmetic product, so making sure we meet all the guidelines for that, and SOPs, lots of paperwork.
It sounds like a pretty important job.
But I like it.
Good. That's a good thing.
And all the people are nice. It's good. It's a little company.
I always ask people some silly little questions just to get to know them a little bit. What are you not very good at besides
Driving.
Riding a quad?
Driving, yeah. Telling time.
Okay.
I don't know what else.
If someone was going to make a movie of your life.
I'm not good at gardening. I can't even grow a plant. I kill everything.
Okay. That's good to know as well. So you don't have a green thumb.
No, not at all. Like even a cactus will die.
Well, yeah.
At my house.
Okay. If we were going to make a movie of your life, probably a lot of it would be the Route 91 situation. Who would play you?
Oh, I have no idea.
If you could choose anyone.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, the blonde lady that's in the Vikings.
You are obsessed with Vikings right now.
I like
you
that.
do like watching.
Yeah.
So you shared with me that you are now hooked.
Yeah.
I watched Vikings so long ago. It's probably time to watch it. Isn't that a great show?
Yeah, I feel like I could watch it again already.
And you've not seen The Last Kingdom yet.
No.
Also a very, very good Viking show.
Yeah.
It absolutely will get you hooked. Yeah. That's good. What makes you feel inspired or motivated?
Be around good people, happy people, positive people.
You're drawn to positive energy, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing and probably helps stay that way. What keeps you up at night?
I just being uncomfortable.
Like being interviewed at a podcast?
No, like I had back surgery in like 2014.
Oh, being physically
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then your brain thinks about everything you have to do the next day.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. I'm not going to ask you what's the most memorable moment of your life because I have a pretty good idea. Have you had an I've made it moment yet? Where you thought, okay, I have reached a point in my life that I thought as a young person, when I get there, I'll feel like I made it. Basically achieve a goal that you had maybe when you were younger.
No, but I feel like where I am now, I'm happy in my life.
What's on the agenda for the next 5 or 10 years?
I have no idea. Maybe travel more.
Yeah.
Camping more.
Yeah.
See more outside stuff.
Doing outdoor stuff that
Yeah.
you love so much. Would you rather have more time or money?
Time.
Yeah. Why?
Because it goes by fast.
Yeah. And you can't get more of it.
No.
There's only one amount, and you're going to experience it until you don't anymore.
Yeah.
Money you can make and lose.
And it doesn't make you happy.
No.
I mean, it can help.
It can help. It can certainly help. What else? What else should we know about Liz Moreno?
Florek.
Huh?
Florek, that's my last name. But I don't have it as Moreno.
You're not Liz Moreno.
No.
Okay. That was the ex.
Yeah.
We don't want to give him credit for anything.
No.
So Florek.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Florek.
Florek. And that is, we talked about that. You're not sure. You said you're Czech, Scandinavian, German, Eastern European.
Irish. But that's from my dad's side, so yeah.
But you're naturally blonde, so you're definitely as white as they get.
Yeah.
That's great. So anything exciting coming up for you?
No, not really. I don't know.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Is there anything you want to ask me?
Do you have any like, I get concerned when my kids are at school, and I just wonder if there's anything that you have for teaching kids or that you would think would be beneficial for them to know in a situation where it's like they've already been taught this, but what if that's not the right thing to do?
Well, the fundamentals of my program can literally be taught to anyone. It's how it's taught, I think, is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
I would not teach a 9-year-old the exact same presentation and program that I teach a 29-year-old.
Right.
However, those 5 steps are absolutely 100% steadfast and golden for any group or age group, except when it comes to the violence portion. In all reality, if 9 third graders jumped on a full grown man, they could probably take him down. But I would not feel comfortable telling a young person to commit violence against somebody, not because don't want them to learn about violence, because violence can be necessary and it can be good and there's a place for it. I just don't know how I would feel teaching somebody to commit violence against somebody that I could not have a fair amount of confidence that they would do it appropriately or the right way or at the right time. And I would not feel good about being the teacher of that and them actually having to do it and doing it wrong and not living. That one I would struggle greatly with. But my book, I've had parents call me, write me, email me, text me, whatever, and say, hey, I had my 12-year-old, my 13-year-old read your book. Which, by the way, I'm giving you one of the hardbacks of my book. It's the least I can do. And I put a little message in there for you.
Okay.
So I want you to absolutely have that.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you. But I just don't feel comfortable saying to a 8, 9, 10-year-old to find a pen and stab somebody's eyes out because they're trying to kill you. There's too many steps in between me telling them and them doing it that could be misinterpreted or done wrong, and then I would feel responsible for that. However, the step basically run, hide, fight. It's a good foundation. We just call A.L.I.V.E. basically run, hide, fight 2.0. It's the more evolved, the more advanced, the more sophisticated way of carrying out run, hide, fight. And at the end of the day, if somebody's going to shoot you, if someone is going to shoot me, I'm going to fight back and maybe have a chance at winning and surviving, or I'm going to die doing nothing. I might die either way, but I'm not going to die doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I think you're a fighter. Pretty clearly, you're a lean forward and make things happen type of person. So, but as far as teaching young people, the key is how you teach them. Mm-hmm. And I have a way that I believe should be done to young people in elementary school that does not involve scariness, loud noises. It's very gentle. And essentially it comes down to you need to follow your teacher's direction and leave the violence up to them. That's the only way I can think of it. But like I said, I wrote my book, and I think anyone 12 years old and on, not that everybody matures at the same level, intellectually, mentally, but I think as a whole, my rule is 12 and up for my program.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that also has to do with their parents and their upbringing. So
Yeah.
there's no cookie cutter, black or white answer for you. I just believe everyone needs to know that it can happen, and then what to do if it does, and have 100% conviction. Because if you're 19 or 29 or 59 and somebody's walking through that door with a weapon, and it's clear, and it's very important to me that people understand the psychological profile and the motive. The motive is to take as many lives as quickly as possible. They're not there for anything else. If you know that that's what they're there for, and they've already killed people, and they're at a school with a gun shooting,
Mm-hmm.
the bottom line is you have got to have 100% conviction and commitment to doing whatever is necessary, no matter how it happens, to that person to neutralize that threat. Because the alternative is you're going to die.
Yeah.
Because they're going to shoot you. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah. I mean, so for example, at my daughter's school, they do the lockdown doors. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, an active shooter program is not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Like A.L.I.V.E, one of the things that we teach in A.L.I.V.E is you're constantly reevaluating, reassessing, deciding what needs to be done, and using common sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you say lockdown, people are going to lock down, and that could end up getting people killed. If you say shelter in place, for instance, you told me, and I think you even said it, you might have said it when you did the news interview, that you said, I want to leave, and your boyfriend said, no, we got to shelter in place. Shelter in place can be very effective if it's done at the right time. But you can't shelter in place. I mean, the kids at Columbine sheltered in place in the library, and they were executed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use common sense. So, my advice to everybody is teach them the different ways of doing things. Don't just say, this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, this is a way to do it, but constantly be reevaluating and reassessing if that's the right way to go. Because, and I tell people, don't follow the 5 steps of A.L.I.V.E exactly chronologically, because you may be leaving the L in A.L.I.V.E, just like run, and then suddenly you encounter the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not going to keep running towards them. You're going to reevaluate. You're going to reassess. Then you might have to run the other way, or run into a copy room or a bathroom and lock the door. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and you can't teach everybody common sense.
Yeah.
They just don't necessarily have it in them, or they're just too programmed to do things a different way. Then have the confidence to say, okay, I've done this, but wait a minute, maybe I should rethink this because of A, B, or C.
Yeah.
So there is no one exact formula for surviving an active shooter. There are multiples. You just have to choose the one that's best for you at the time, and then be prepared to choose a different one if circumstances change.
Yeah.
I mean, if when Stephen Paddock was shooting from the 33rd or whatever 34th floor of Mandalay Bay, you did exactly what you should have done. You got out of the hot zone. But what if he was not up there? And what if you and Marty had jumped up and taken off running and come around a corner, and there's the shooter right there? You would have had to change your mind and taken a different path.
Right.
You have the common sense to do that. But at the end of the day, you did what I teach people to do, and that is be empowered. Be empowered and take action. Don't freeze. Don't become paralyzed with fear. For God's sakes, do not become a victim and lose hope. You cannot lose hope. You've got to keep it no matter what, and lean forward and take action.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell anybody, no matter what age they are. It's just what action to take is going to be a very delicate thing and up to them to decide. And, you got to tell them all the different things they can do and let them choose, because they're the only ones that are going to be able to do it at the time. And like I preach in my program, somebody says, well, should we go save other people? Should we run away? Should we do this? I say, here are your options. You need to decide which one is best for you. But at the end of the day, what you need to do is survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you have an opportunity and you feel as though you can take that opportunity and help other people survive, then you're the only one that can make that decision. Because unless you're paid to protect people, no one can expect anything from you except to do what you can to get home to the people you love.
Right.
I will certainly hope that you'll try and save me if you can, if you're in a position to do that. And I'm not, but you've got people to get home to. You've got children and a boyfriend and people that depend on you. So that's going to be up to you. And instinctively, many people will make that. A friend of mine who I interviewed, Matt Clock, was there with a buddy of his who was a combat Marine, and three people, three gals, the girlfriend's wife and another girl. And when the shooting started, this combat Marine went into his programs and stood up and started running towards the sound where he thought the shooter was.
Yeah.
Without even thinking. He left his wife, which my friend Matt took care of, but his programs went in. And I'm not criticizing him. He did what he thought was best. And that's what we're sometimes going to do.
But then what happened?
Well, one of the girls got shot in the leg. Everyone survived, but I think he's got some guilt.
Where did he go?
He ran into the crowd where he thought the shooting was coming from.
I
don't think he even knew exactly what he was going to do at that time, except if he could probably rip the guy's head off, but he couldn't have ever gotten to him.
No. Yeah.
So I think it's really important to use common sense. And the A in A.L.I.V.E is assess, and that assess process has got to be constantly going, constantly reevaluating, constantly using common sense to get the best possible desired result. Because doing something like succumbing to your programs may end up getting you killed or somebody else killed.
Yeah, because even if you didn't have a gun, so where are you going?
He was a combat Marine.
Yeah.
That's what he was programmed by the Marine Corps to do. That's what he did when he was there. And that was his answer to saving his people, was eliminating the threat.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. I know. I know. I agree.
But was that the best thing for him and his wife? I think now he believes that maybe not, but he didn't know at the time, and God bless him for trying. But even the best intentions, you've got to evaluate, is this what I should be doing right now? He didn't even think rationally, I'm going to be able to take this guy out. He just thought, I've got to eliminate this threat to protect my people.
Right.
So, I mean, his intent was certainly honorable. But that kind of stress will do crazy things to you. And one of the videos I show in the program is 3 women inside a tent at that event at the Route 91. And one girl is completely losing her shit, like screaming and yelling and freaking out. They're all huddling somewhere. Another girl is about halfway there, and she's trying really hard to lock it down. She's trying to calm her friend down. Her intentions are good, but clearly she is really struggling. But she's doing a better job of maintaining control than the first girl. And then you hear the third girl say, "It's going to be okay, guys. We're going to be okay." Just like that. Just like that. Calm, collected, rational. Can you imagine? My goal with my program is to teach everyone to be like that third girl, because I want them all to keep their wits about them, to stay calm, to stay cool, because that is when you're making good decisions. This girl that was losing her mind because she was hysterical, if her friends weren't probably holding on to her, she might have just taken off running and might have been killed. I want people.
Well, how do you teach that part?
That's a great question. That is something I believe. Well, first of all, I think people are taught from a young age based on their parenting. I know a lot of children of military and law enforcement people who are taught to remain calm, to use your head. That's how they were taught in their careers. So that's how they taught their kids. You have now taught your children situational awareness. You had to learn that the hard way, right? So you either learn it by someone teaching you, or if you're now an adult and you don't have it, hopefully you learn it from a program like mine that says, this is what it looks like on paper. Now you're going to have to constantly think about it and challenge yourself to actually have that be your reaction. Because it needs to be a reaction. It needs to be second nature. Or you need to be able to, like you did, you need to be able to go, wait a minute, and self-talk. Hold on. I have been through training that taught me what to do. I am going to do what I was taught. And you must be a spectacular student because you just do what you're taught. You don't second guess it. Now, some people may second guess things because they need to understand why is what you're teaching me the right thing to do? Well, hold on. I need to understand that from a rational, reasonable perspective. And some people just say, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'll do. Either way, if you're being taught something that's valuable to you, your life, your success, your happiness, whatever it takes to be able to follow those instructions, that's where you win.
Yeah.
You know? So, well, Liz, I can't thank you enough. I know that you have no idea the impact you've had on my life. I hope you now have some inkling of how powerful your testimonial has been. Clearly, not only has it given me validation and proof of concept for my program, but you going on the news and nationally, being spotlighted talking about your experience was obviously incredible for promoting my program and having it probably becoming such an international success. So thank you for that email in the middle of the night. Also, it makes me very happy that you telling me gave you some sort of peace.
It did.
Because I'm glad that you learned my program and used it to survive. But the aftermath, which was so emotionally difficult, the fact that you could use me or confide in me or talk to me about that and it gave you peace means the world. Because I almost feel like I was able to give you something back for such a wonderful gift of telling me your story about how my program saved your life.
Yeah, I think it did.
I'm glad. Well, I'm so pleased that we got to know each other a little bit. And thank you for getting in touch with me. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing your experience again. I hope that people will take from this the fact that, well, there was many lessons in what you said. You did what you were taught and it helped you survive. You still had PTSD, which I think is an incredibly normal emotional response to what happened to you. You decided to consciously and reasonably and rationally face your fear, to force yourself to go overcome it by when you felt the emotion, that PTSD, that negative energy that happened in you from a trigger, like a loud noise, the shooting of the guns or whatever. And one of the most important things you said is you just be with it and experience it and become okay with it, because then you come out the other side and that energy dissipates.
Yeah.
And you heal from it.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing. And it's probably hard for a lot of people.
I don't think people know that that's a tool, that's a process, that's something they can do unless they're taught that. And this show, I hope, will teach some people that. I've never put it in, I understand the concept, but I've never heard anyone put it into terms like you did. And that actually kind of resonated with me. Because we all have energy. We all have shit we deal with. And you can avoid it or you can get past it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between, I don't want to say winners and losers, but people that are truly able to, fighters and non-fighters. I think that's necessary. And that's what helps people really, truly enjoy life, because those things that might happen to them and then they avoid in the future that could be the most wonderful experiences of their life, but they don't get to experience them because they're afraid to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, thank you again for being on. I really, really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Until next time, please connect with me on your favorite social media platform where you can follow me on my personal journey